So today I am doing my infusion, so I decided I was going to show y'all how I set up and access my port and how I set up my infusion. I want to make a disclaimer that I am not a medical professional. I am not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I want to make that very, very clear. This is just how I do it and how my nurse has taught me to do it. So, my very first step, as you can see, I have this like little tray and table. I like to take some Lysol wipes and I will wipe the tray down and the table down. I'm going to do the table first. And I just take it, fold it in, and then I do the tray. A tip that I have for y'all is get a trash can because it makes a lot of mess. And also get a shirt that you can pull down that you're able to access. And my last tip for right now is if you have long hair, pull it back. It makes it so much easier than trying to deal with hair falling. The next step that I do is to make sure I have a mask on because you do not want to breathe stuff out. I got my saline already out and I placed it on the IV pole. And the next step is getting everything out that I need. So, at the beginning, I do 2 salines because I have a problem with getting blood return. I also prep for at the end when I deaccess. So I have a saline. And I will grab a heparin. I'll grab a swab cap and I just place it in a bag, and this one doesn't have a hole in it, which I will cut in a little bit, but I usually take this and place it on my IV pole so that way I have it on my IV pole when needed. And I still have to have some alcohol wipes, which I have over here. So I'm going to place some alcohol wipes in here. So afterwards, it's going to be set up so I can easily do them. The next thing is a bio patch, and then you have a microclave. Alcohol prep pads. So I at least need 4. I'll need a needle. This is a Hubert needle. Do not know what inch this is, but it's a Hubert needle. I need tubing for when I prime my line. I am very, very sensitive skinned, so I have IV, I have it upside down, IV 3000. And then I have a dressing change kit. This does come with a dressing, but as I said, I am very sensitive, so I just have my home health company send me some other dressing that doesn't affect me as much. And the last but not least, gloves. These are not sterile gloves. They're sterile gloves in the dressing change kit, but I like to use these gloves to when I'm setting up the sterile field. So I'm putting on my gloves. Sometimes getting packages open is a pill. Take this, and I'm just going to open this up. And I don't use these masks because I'm allergic to them. So I'm just going to try to take the very corners of it and open it with the corners. So you don't want to touch the middle portion of the styrofoam. And then you just take and drop all the stuff on there. So go ahead and drop all this on here. And the next step that I'm doing is I'm going to prep my saline flushes. And right now I'm only going to prep one because sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. If you pull back a little, it actually desuctions it, and that way you don't have saline shooting through the ceiling, because I've done that multiple occasions. And I'm going to take the alcohol prep pads, and I'm just going to take them and drop them on the sterile field. And like I said, I usually use about 4. That way I'm not touching the package once I'm accessed. Okay, so I'm going to take and break this so you can, and I just rub it so some of it comes out, and I'm just going around. I want to make sure I'm not putting bacteria or anything back on the area. So, and while that is drying, I'm actually going to take these gloves off, and I am going to place on my sterile gloves. These can sometimes be very hard to put on, but eventually you will get the hang of it. So you want to make sure you're touching the outside cuff when you put the first one on, because you don't want to and it also, you have to work on your finger dexterity, because if your finger dexterity is not very good, it's quite hard to put them on. And then you take and you want to grab the inside of the cuff. Usually this one is the easier one to put on, because you're like, you can touch this part, and then I just knock that off. The next thing is prepping all the needles and all that stuff, or the needles, and taking all the caps off because there's 1,400 caps. So I take and connect the enclave to the bottom of the needle, or the bottom of the extension tube from the needle. Then I'm going to take an alcohol swab. Even though this is sterile, I still swab the end part. And then I grab the saline flush and I alcohol swab that as well. I connect it, and you want to go until you see some drops. And here comes the part where the needle goes in. Was it 1, 2, 3? Because I have a power port. I'm going to get all the way in the middle. So I'm going to flush. Oh, blood return! Whoop whoop! Flush. And I just leave this hooked until I get my dressing on. And something that I forgot is to actually put this on. You want to take and make sure you have it in the middle. I'm just going to lay the bottom down first. Okay. We're going to lay down the top. This is sometimes a little harder. So take it. And then there's a little tab here. You pull. And there I am accessed. So I can take off my sterile glass. I do also like to actually take some tape and just at the end of the tube, place it right there, because at the end of the tube, it kind of like wants to pull up, and so it kind of keeps it from that line. So I'm going to take this little thing, I'm going to pull it off. Take this. There's 1,400 caps on these, so I'm going to pull all these caps off. You want to make sure it's untangled because, and also make sure you find if once you spike it, it will. And I'm just alcohol wiping these. And I'm doing what's called spiking the bag. So I'm just pushing it in. And there it goes. You want to make sure you have I'm trying to get some of the air bubbles out. And then you clip it line, because you want to make sure you do it over a trash can because it makes a mess and a half. Okay, so my line is primed, and so I'm going to use the other saline just to make sure that when I was moving it or anything like that, that it was that's still in the correct spot. So flushing, pull back, It's like really, really hard for me to get blood return. So, blood return, woo! And then flush. You can taste the saline flushes. It's really irritating. And then you take the last alcohol swab. You alcohol at those two ends. You attach and twist. You're going to use this. This is a regulator. This is a gravity drip, so you want to make sure that the little doodad here actually is above your heart. And then I'm going to put it on 300 mLs per hour. And then I'm unclipping and fluids are running. I just want to make this a little bit of a video on how I access myself and hook up to my fluids. I will actually film me also deaccessing, so you can see the process of deaccessing as well. Now I'm going to show you how to deaccess. So first things first, getting saline flush, pull down to desuction it so it doesn't go squirting through the ceiling. And then you're going to use an alcohol swab to rub or clean both ends. And then connect, push, and then pull to get blood return, whoop, whoop, and then continue flushing it. And then this is heparin. So you pull down to desuction it, and then pull up to get the air out. And then you take alcohol swab, and twist and push it. And if you're going to be accessed for longer periods of time, you would put an alcohol a swab cap on, which I'm just fully going to deaccess. So you just take and peel dressing off. And I actually like to pull it and it de-accesses it. So the needle's out. And I will put that in a sharps container, but just take the gauze that's already in the dressing change kit and I just grab it, grab some tape, and I put it on there because you do bleed a little bit after deaccessing. So tape it. Boom. And there's that. I am fully deaccessed.